Yo, 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 what's poppin'? What's crack-a-lackin'? What's really good? Thank you for listening to The Rope Break, your source for news, opinions, and anything else that revolves around the world of professional wrestling. It is I. The only wall I didn't smash is the Great Wall of China. See, I wrote that, and I thought it was funny, and now I feel a little bad. I think it might be too soon. So, obviously, rest in peace to the future Hall of Famer. But I digress. Conspicuous by their absences, we are missing the Polynesian Papi Chulo and the excellence of Exhale. My partners Joe Maga and Brett the Hitman they were in Japan trying to score an interview with Sonata for the podcast. They both learned Japanese. It was pretty epic. On their way back, their helicopter collided with that of Shane McMahon. So they dragged Shane McMahon out of the wreckage, and now they're hanging out with Shane O'Mac. They're dancing and being really hyper together. But I am here stateside with an interview of my own. I have an extremely exciting co-host for today. I am sitting with one of the head trainers and featured performers at Professional Wrestling Academy, Connecticut, my friend, the biggest fan of both Kendrick and Kendrick that I know of. It's Hippy Dicky Moon. Say what up to him, Richard.
Am I Richard?
Well, you're the esteemed Richard Moon.
Oh, I'm Richard.
Yes.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Glad
to be here.
When I'm working, I can't wait to feud with you so I can call you Richard all the time.
Oh man, that's gonna bug me.
Good. So yeah, Hippy Dicky Moon. We're here at PWA on location, to be honest. How has your week been so far, sir?
It has been it's been a week. It's Wednesday.
Yep.
Hump day, you know.
We had a couple of good training sessions Monday and Tuesday.
We did. Been working hard. Been hitting the gym hard this week.
Nice. I received a gift from today's esteemed guest. I got a granola hemp seed berry trail mix that I'm super excited to try. But it doesn't make for good radio. So, without further ado, the brave hippie himself he's going to take part in the gauntlet.
Okay.
Do you have your phone?
Oh, wait.
For the stopwatch?
Oh my goodness. I have to turn it on.
No, it's all good, man. Oh, you got battery? All right. So this is a really cool edition. We're just chilling. We're on my phone. This is not, your standard, in the studio, with all the equipment, but we're going to have a lot of fun here.
Oh.
That's great, because I don't have any sound effects or music for this episode. So, the gauntlet, which we're getting to, is our elaborate entrance. We tackle 5 of the week's most relevant topics.
Right into it.
We address, redress, and undress them each in under a minute.
Undress?
Yes. I think we can...
Gotta get the sexy beast in for that part.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Actually, Bull Dread was probably number 1 on the list of guests, and he might be a little ticked off at me for not having him on first, but
it'll be all right.
You hit me up first.
He's gonna
this time.
The sexy beast likes me. He's gonna be all right.
We'll make it work. He's next for sure.
Okay.
This was definitely unanticipated. This is really good radio. So I'm gonna ask the first question while we get that stopwatch going, everybody. Okay. So, Global Force Wrestling's world champion Alberto El Patron has been indefinitely suspended for about 2 weeks so far, following a very public spat with his fiancée Paige. Impact Television tapings have thus far carried the company through the scandal, with a compelling angle pitting the former Del Rio against the white-hot LAX stable. Will we see Alberto continue his title reign, Hippie, or will GFW pull the plug on the problematic Patron?
Honestly, I am not that informed on the Global Force television, but I have seen a little bit of it, and I've definitely heard about everything, including about Alberto and Paige and how crazy he can be, after the tapings are over and everything like that. And, a company that's really trying to be serious, I don't think they're going to want any part of that. So I think they probably will be pulling the plug on that.
I would have to agree. aside from the fact that Global Force, when they were Impact, when they were TNA, were just fighting so hard to get Del Rio, that was the guy they launched their entire effort of obtaining. They wanted that guy. They wanted that talent. They wanted to appeal to that market. They wanted to get one over on WWE, and they did ultimately by getting him, and now he's just ruined it. I would have to say you really got to at least get the belt off him and move on. We normally have a bell to ring. That is the minute.
Dang.
Ding! The next question. The Mae Young Classic has been recorded. There was overwhelming optimism and positive press surrounding the endeavor. Good old Jim Ross stated that he was personally moved by the experience of calling the action beside two female Hall of Famers in Medusa and Lita. Is this the most significant moment for female performers in mainstream American wrestling? And does this lead to a regular all-women's program in WWE?
Yes. I mean, I think you got to say it's the most significant moment for women's wrestling. It's the women's revolution is obviously continuing. Maybe this has happened before. I know independents do women's tournaments sometimes, but this has got to be the biggest of all time from all these women from all these different companies. It's going to get the eyes of so many different fans. As far as a regular program,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen, especially since 205 isn't doing too hot. So
That is a great point. 205 Live has not exactly burnt the billboards. I think it is the most significant moment for females in mainstream American wrestling. The indies, they're independent companies entirely devoted to women.
Oh yeah.
And it's the impact of somebody like Mercedes Martinez from right here in Connecticut. She's being billed from Waterbury, Connecticut.
Awesome.
You know, it's like it's huge for everybody, but I don't know if we get a show out of it. I agree with that. Ding, ding, ding.
Woo!
Now, it may not be the late 90s, but Rey Mysterio Jr. is making headlines. The former cruiserweight standout turned WWE World Champion is currently wrestling for Lucha Underground, but no plans for the next season have been announced. He is making frequent indie appearances throughout the summer, including a dream match against Ricochet this past Sunday in Rhode Island for XWA. The master of the 619 has recently been courted by WWE to resume his role as the prominent talent of Hispanic descent, and recent photos with Karen Jarrett and Conan suggest that GFW is pursuing his services as well. And just today, before he came in, I saw a little tidbit that says that he has a contract in his hands. They've made an offer. Global Force. What do you think is the best landing spot for the all-time top luchador?
This question is personal for me because Rey Mysterio is probably, I always credit him as the guy that got me into professional wrestling. The reason I do this.
Well, that answers a question I was going to ask later.
But, so personally, I want him, as long as he's still healthy and happy doing it, to keep kicking ass on the independents, you know?
Yeah.
Keep doing Lucha Underground when he can. And
Love it.
And, I mean, come to Connecticut, come wrestle Hippy, Dicky Moon, that'd be awesome.
Yo!
But, in the end, he's gonna end up, you know, in his age, end up with a bigger company.
Yeah, I mean, bigger paycheck is always an important
smarter
thing.
for your family.
And, you know, a lot of guys are making a lot of money on the independents now. But I think Global Force is going to make a really hard push, especially with Del Rio going out, or Patron looking like he's making his exit.
Yeah, they gotta switch.
You know, they need something. All the resources that they put into getting Patron, and now that's not panning out. I think they're going to make a super huge push, but I would love to see him back with WWE so he's on TV all the time. I am more interested in seeing him in Bristol in just a couple weekends, so we can talk about that a little later on as well. Ding, ding.
Ding.
The fourth topic today, our current WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar has presumably left mixed martial arts behind after his victory at UFC 200 was overturned due to a positive test for illegal substances taken before the fight. Rumor now has it that Lesnar will drop Raw's premier championship at SummerSlam so the Beast Incarnate can return to UFC for their first event at Madison Square Garden. The question is Brock's freedom to compete for both WWE and UFC fair to athletes on either roster? And does it set a precedent for a future involving more hybrid fighters?
Is it fair? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's fair. Personally, I don't really care. I want to see him like kick ass in WWE and in UFC and wherever he can go.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about Brock Lesnar, and I think these kind of open contracts are neat. The fact that we kind of see it like Samoa Joe's contract at first when he first got signed was he was just doing the NXT, but he was also on the Indies too.
And look at how that panned out.
And that's good. I mean, people want to see excitement. They want to feel like the guys can show up anywhere.
Exactly. I like all of that. I also think, who else is Brock Lesnar? You know, like a very unique individual, once in a generation athlete in general. So if somebody else could manage to do both, I'm sure they would. Bobby Lashley does it for Global Force and Bellator.
Yeah.
Ding ding.
Yeah.
The now
Brock's a beast.
The most talked about segment of the week has to be the anticipated payoff.
Love this.
For the text message intrigue between Corey Graves, who Brett the Hitman of this very podcast waited on at Chili's in Danbury today.
Really?
That's true. Really? He sent me pictures. Cool. That was before he went to Japan. Oops. Corey Graves and Kurt Angle. Many had hoped it would lead to your Olympic hero's return to the ring, but we ultimately learned that, according to the storyline, American Alpha's Jason Jordan is Angle's illegitimate son. Does this stand to help or hinder the promising young Jordan, and what is the best potential outcome of this dramatic turn of events?
The man has big shoes to fill. His papa is Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
So he has that to live up to kind of immediately, almost.
It didn't work well for Curtis Axel.
He was doing good with Chad Gable, and they're both going to do well because they're both great athletes on their own singles. But it's up to them. It's up to really Jordan on how he really grabs that spotlight.
Man, I'm really liking your answers because it doesn't clash hard with mine, but it's not the same thing either. I think it is a tough spot for Jason Jordan to be in. I thought more so because the angle is so lame.
I usually hate these angles.
He's going to be associated with this for at least the near future. You've seen guys like Triple H put in hog pen matches, looking like ass, who emerged from it because they did their job. If Jason Jordan can do his job and take shit and make a clay sculpture out of it, then there's a chance he could come out of it looking good. Yeah. And ding ding ding, that is it. Ding.
I like that last question. You know? Yeah. I was really excited for that angle.
Were you? A lot of people were. I was obviously hoping it would put Kurt back in a ring.
That doesn't mean,
Doesn't mean that it won't.
Doesn't mean it won't. That could lead to it.
It could. So I have a rare opportunity here. I love talking to Joe and Brett, but we've got a wrestler sitting here at PWA parking lot.
Yeah. Actually,
yeah. You've heard me talk about the Hippy Dicky Moon probably 100 times if you listen to the podcast with any regularity. I'm not saying this because you're here. I say it all the time when you're not here. He's one of my favorite independent wrestlers, and oddly enough, I've seen him. How long before the Stevie Richards seminar had you been training?
Stevie Richards seminar? That was...
like 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, I've been training for 4 years. So
4 years?
Like a year when you saw me.
Okay.
Maybe under a year.
So that was when I first met you and Wrecking Ball and all the guys who were there then.
Just saw those pictures recently.
Yeah?
Facebook memory.
Yeah. So you were at it for about a year before I was around, but that means I have been around for a lot of it. And I've seen a lot of growth, and I really do enjoy everything that goes on. You know, the feud with Azrael's great. The feud with Troy Stevens was really good.
Yes.
You're a 2-time PWA International Champion, which is the premier title in the company. 2-time PWA Tag Team Champion with Grappling Greg. Peace, Love, and Wrestling was like one of my favorite tag teams. That was some good shit.
Great.
The hair versus hair match against Azrael, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a big one. Not everyone has hair versus hair matches.
Big one. That changed my hairstyle forever. You know.
Forever. And then you've also performed for Wrestlers Lab.
Yes.
Is that Bree Combination
I
Wrestling?
think they call it Bri Combination.
Bri?
I'm pretty sure it's Bri Combination Wrestling.
Now, where's that out of?
That's out of it's out of New York. I think the Bronx.
Okay.
Bronx, Brooklyn area.
Now,
Queens. I
did
don't
Azrael work there?
He has.
Okay.
He has.
And Wrestlers Lab is when it's just a bunch of the boys and you tape it, but there's not like an in-house audience?
That you're thinking of the Warriors of Wrestling tapings.
Okay.
Which I will be doing this Sunday.
Nice.
I have an exciting match for that. So, Wrestlers Lab is usually a pre-show to another bigger show in New York. Sometimes Battle Pro, but their goal is to always bring new characters, people from different states and stuff like that.
Okay. Great. No, cool. That's fantastic. And then Ace, New Jersey?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
I just went there for the first time. I forgot the date. It was just about a month ago. It's American Championship Entertainment.
Okay.
It's great. I don't. That's really all I can say about it.
Fantastic.
They have a Fight for Flight division, like a cruiserweight division.
Oh, nice.
It's all based around multi-man matches. So last time I was there, it was myself, Sebastian Cage, who's the champion, and Azrael in a triple threat.
And that's this Saturday. No,
that
August
was
5th.
That was a month ago.
Okay.
This August 5th, Ace Again will be myself, Sebastian Cage, and
Evander
James. Yes. So
your match with Evander James here was nasty.
Azrael was pinned, so I'm assuming that's why he's not in this one.
Okay.
So he got replaced.
Well, I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to get these people who are tuning in.
Yeah, let them roll, man.
Now, I just realized to those listening at home and to the Hippy here, we have a time limit on this app.
Oh, no.
So we've got about 30 minutes left. We can definitely talk about some stuff.
Yeah.
On the rope break, we really kind of tend to tiptoe the line between kayfabe and, like, shoot life. I, like, when we talk about, how it was reffing for Tough 8, I'm not talking about everything. I'm talking about, my job as a ref. Yeah. So you can toe the line. You can completely, do...
I'm a fan of yours. I heard that interview.
Okay. Cool.
I listen to the podcast.
Well, thanks, man. However you want to be.
Cool.
Be. And if I'm overstepping any bounds, let me know. When Joe Maga interviewed Pete, Joseph von Schmidt for about PWA, it was a very balanced, talking about the runnings of the company.
Cool.
So we do tiptoe the line. How much of a hippie are you outside of the arena?
Well, the moment I stepped into PWA, that's what I was labeled. So I guess I was perceived as a hippie.
So you were profiled.
I was profiled, yeah, for sure. I don't know if at the time I really felt that way or identified as a hippie, but it kind of it's more come out now. It's for
grown
sure.
On you.
And like little things like I don't I always recycle. I don't litter and stuff like that. My trunk is freaking filled with bottles because I don't let anyone throw anything outside the window and stuff like that. So.
That's so awesome. But you are a huge hip hop fan.
I am. I'm a hippie.
In real life.
Yeah, hippie hop.
Hippie. Yes. That's very good.
Yeah.
So what are you bumping right now? Like what's on in your car when you pulled up today?
What's in rotation? Hip hop. Well, we get to that. You heard about hip hop? Just became.
Yeah, I heard that. You know why though? It's because all that's out is shitty rock.
It's all stats.
The only thing that's out now is shitty rock.
That's
so
true.
who's a fan of any new bands?
Yeah.
No offense to any of my local bands. I'm talking about mainstream.
You guys are good, of course.
Yeah, no, definitely. Mainstream is garbage. Mm-hmm. Has been for years.
Yeah. Well, I'm bumping. The Tyler the Creator new Tyler the Creator. That comes out Friday, but a bunch of the singles have come out on Spotify. Well,
He's not too much
whatever.
of a hippie to illegal pirate songs.
No, I'm not saying that. They're on the. I've only heard the singles. And I gotta shout out Brockhampton. They're a music collective out of Los Angeles. I can't even tell you how many people are in that. They have an album called Saturation, and it like top to bottom. That's my favorite album of the year so far. It has elements of like every genre you can imagine in that thing. It's crazy.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. I'm gonna go back and listen to this later just so I can check that out. You wrestled in high school.
Yes.
You were in lighter weight classes. I was 189, man. Like, it was kind of easy, to be honest, but it was also prep school, so, a bunch of soft kids.
That's right, you said you did that, yes.
You were in much more competitive lighter classes. How did you do at wrestling?
I was okay.
All right.
I was never a great wrestler.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like a good wrestler now. But what hindered me, I got hurt my first 2 years of high school wrestling and had to miss a lot of practice my first 2 years. So I really didn't start going like my junior year.
Okay.
Senior year, I ended with I was above 50 on like my win-loss. So that's
okay.
good. More wins and losses. That's all I can ask for.
That's all you can hope for, man. You gotta have more W's. Did you play other sports?
I played basketball pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
My dad was always a basketball coach and a basketball fan, so that's what I wanted to do, and that's what my brother did. But I was not good.
Well,
I was terrible.
You weren't playing center.
No. No.
I know that.
No.
Shooting guard, point guard?
Like a shooting guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I was terrible though, and of course, and when I was younger, I dabbled other sports. Every mom throws her kid in soccer for once, and do karate, and I was the kid in karate where when the whole line of kids is going to one side of the wall, I'm facing the other side. That was me. But,
so then, it's funny because I didn't mean for this to so deliberately lead into this next question, but it works. I mean, you're telling me you weren't the best wrestler, and that's cool. You know what I mean? I wasn't either. What then were the circumstances that led to you choosing professional wrestling as something that you wanted to actively pursue, especially after you did it for a while and knew how athletic it really is? Because, I love the fact that people be like, what's wrestling school? Like acting class? I'll just pull out, picture after training of just, sweat-drenched, bruised-ass me. Yeah. So what led you to choosing something so athletic if you didn't take super hard to it back in the day?
Well, I think I knew I wanted to be a professional wrestler before I started amateur wrestling.
Okay.
So it wasn't the other way around. So I got into amateur wrestling specifically because I knew how much that would influence my professional wrestling. I was a fan of people like Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
I was a Kurt Angle fan, and I knew what he did, and shit, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle's world champion. I want to be world champion. He's a collegiate wrestler, and I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't make it to the Olympics, but
well, yeah.
at least I got something.
Yeah, how many people make it to the Olympics, especially when they took wrestling off the Olympics. But so you said Rey Mysterio, now you said Kurt Angle. I know you have a super soft spot for the Brian Kendrick.
The Brian Kendrick.
Now, does that go back to his time in Ring of Honor as Spanky, or?
Well, I think I first heard about Kendrick I first saw him on SmackDown. That's definitely where. Because I first saw professional wrestling just channel surfing, and I think it was a Rey Mysterio match. That's why I always say I credit him and his style, because it's so flashy. It was able to catch my eye in the couple seconds as I'm flashing through the channels. And cruiserweight division was hot at that time. Matt Hardy was the cruiserweight champion. He was doing his
so weird version 1.
He was doing his version 1 and getting on the scale and cutting weight to make the division, and it was awesome. And right around that time is when Kendrick started, sneaking into the arena so that he could meet Stephanie McMahon and ask for a contract. And once I found out who he was, we had the internet then.
Yeah.
Looked him up online. Yeah, and it was off.
Dude, he was so good in Ring of Honor, man. I'm not saying he wasn't in WWE. I'm just thinking back, those early days of ROH, man.
Yeah, I always used to get the tapes, the Ring of Honor tapes from FYE, and
Yeah.
watch all those tournaments they would do, and man, he was crazy.
So you've been with PWA then for 4 years.
Yes.
That's the first place you set foot in to start training?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. A lot of people have come and gone. Some of them have asked me not to talk about them, and I can respect that.
Yeah.
Some of them have asked me not to promote PWA with them at the same time and stuff, and I get it. There's some of the people, they were friendly partings, and others were a little less cordial.
Yeah.
Because of that, your loyalty stands out to me.
Yeah.
So what is it about PWA that makes it special, and what makes it a place that you want to remain for the long haul?
I feel just very grateful for PWA. I don't know, I don't know if this is how you feel, but before I looked up a wrestling school, the first site that I saw of what a wrestling school might be like was on Tough Enough, and they made that look hard and and I'm not and not to say that excuse me, and not to say that wrestling training is not hard, but they made it look, because it had to be dramatic for television,
And those are professional athletes who are trying out.
Yes.
So they can already do shit.
And they would highlight the scenes where the trainers were screaming at you and making you bump just for the sake of bumping.
And if I may interject briefly,
yes,
my buddy Scott, who sings for the band Crossing Rubicon, trained at Jason's school while Dredd and Von Schmidt were there, and Jason would make you bump.
Yeah.
Just keep pumping.
And maybe that's just how it used to be, but I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I was always just very grateful for how my training was, especially the kind of person that I was. I was much younger then, I've matured in my days here at PWA. When I've
matured immensely. You're younger than I am anyway. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay.
I'm going to be 27 soon.
So 22, 23 to 26, 27. That is big.
Yeah. When I first started training, and I see it now because I see people when they first start training they get very frustrated and they get angry with themselves, and that's the kind of person that I would be in the ring. I'd smack the mat when I'd mess up a move, and I'd get out of the ring and get angry, and that kind of and my trainers were patient with me.
Yeah.
At that point, at points where they didn't have to be patient, And I'm just very appreciative of that. I want this to be a place that I can go back to, if I make it in the big leagues one day.
Sure.
I want to be in my WWE network.
Special fucking, dude.
Come back to PWA.
Footage courtesy of...
Oh, I used to train here.
Yeah.
Oh, man, these are the ropes I used to hit.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's phenomenal. So that's awesome, and I love that story. But you are, in the 4 years that you've been here, you've graduated from slapping the mat furious,
yes,
some of us still do, to for all intents and purposes, you and Bull Dredd are together the head trainers. He's a 15-year veteran who's been here forever, but before he resumed his role here now, you were really the head trainer here.
I was, I had hold of the reins for a little while.
What about training new wrestlers really appeals to you? Because you don't exactly make six figures doing it.
No.
So what? Because it's extra work on your part.
Mm-hmm.
It's and you don't have any connection with these people before they start training with you. What is it about the act of doing it that you find appealing?
Well, it was an offer that was brought to me. Owners at PWA asked if I would like to take control and start running classes at PWA, if I could do that, and I had lots of help at the time, and I thought I was able to do it. I felt like I was doing a pretty good job, especially with brand new wrestlers. I feel pretty comfortable with my my basics.
Yeah.
I feel extremely comfortable with my basics. Actually.
What I love about when you train, and it's nothing against what anybody else does, because we have Dan the Man coming in here. We have Bull Dread. Until recently, we had Moonshine here. We have, before that even, we had everybody. Pete, Joseph Von Schmidt was here himself training. Everyone is different. What I love about your training is that you go from, you put together a sequence of moves that lead to the move that you really want to work on, which I think just creates a more live experience for the trainee.
Great.
So, just if I could share that with everybody.
Good. I'm glad you feel that way.
Yeah.
I feel like now I've Bull Dread has really taken hold of the reins. I'd call him, he's the head trainer at this point, I would say. I'm more the assistant. I come in, I give him bright young ideas, fresh ideas, and
sure.
If there's any bumping that he doesn't want to do, I can I got more spots on my card.
Well, yes, you have more checks to mark off. You guys do work really well together, though. And yeah, definitely Bull Dread. I mean, there's no doubt that he's running it.
He's kicking ass
night to night. He is. I'm having a great time. I can tell that the girls really appreciate him. So what is your personal goal? And this could be for training, this could be for your wrestling career, this could be for your personal life. By the end of 2017, what does the Hippy Dicky Moon want to have accomplished, achieved, done? What will make you happy to close out the year?
Oh, just the end of the year. Man, I was expecting bigger things. I thought that was going to be
that is next.
A career.
That is next.
Oh, man.
But this year, what do you want to get done this year?
Man, I don't know. I guess it's kind of bad. I haven't really thought of an end of the year goal, because my entire goal is just, obviously,
the
goal, as any wrestlers should be.
Exactly.
But my goal is always just reaching out to new companies and new states I've never been to, and like last month I just did that at Ace. So maybe hoping next month I'll go somewhere else.
On August 5th, you're going to Ace again?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if it was a different company. Thanks, man. That's great. Is there anything else you want to throw out there just from you? For potential students, for your fans, for listeners who are not aware of who Hippy Dicky Moon is, what do you have to say to people?
Jeez, I just throw it on my tags or something, I guess. You could find me everywhere at I've been pretty good about keeping everything at Hippy Dicky Moon. I think I'm at HIPPY.
HIPPY DICKY.
Yes.
That's important, guys.
Hippy Dicky Moon everywhere. Come check out PWA Friday Night Fights. Our next one is August 4th.
August 4th.
And all my people in New Jersey, August 5th.
Nice. That actually is a remarkable segue into the next segment we have here, and this may be all we have time for today, which is fine.
Let's get to it, though.
I would love to talk to you about WWE. I can speed through this. Let me do this as quick as I can. In this corner is where I hype and highlight the fantastic professional wrestling that is going on right in our backyard. Not literally backyard wrestling. This is everything from homegrown talent to WWE Hall of Famers right here in the local indie scene. NEW had Future of Flight on Friday. There is an entire 30-40 minute podcast about that. You can go on this page and listen to that. Ricochet and Cody was fucking marvelous. Vinny Marseglia and Vic Delicious stole the show, and their match didn't even have a finish. So Big Bacon Brad Hollister is impressive with his strength.
You can say fuck on this podcast?
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Woo!
Woo!
Fuck, that's crazy.
We do put the explicit on it, so... I made a joke about a dead woman and not having sex with her. So,
wow.
XWA, which is the Extreme Wrestling Alliance.
What? Oh, yeah.
Are you you're familiar with them, right, Hippy?
Yes.
You know a lot about XWA.
I know a little bit about XWA.
Okay, that's run by the Kingdom. Matt Taven. They have a school out of Rhode Island. Some people we know might go there sometimes.
Yeah. Good guys out there.
Yeah, well, they've got this huge event that I didn't even realize was so gigantic. I couldn't have made it anyway, but Resolution 17, has this been in existence for 17 years?
Oh, man.
Vinny Marseglia, who I was just talking about, defeated Dijak, Kyle the Beast, Mike Orlando, who we know.
MJF.
Mike Orlando is from Jersey, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
He's killing it. He got shouted out by Ryback on Ryback's podcast. He's fighting Jerry the King Lawler. He's got a lot of attention.
He is kicking it. I have been in the ring with Mike Orlando once.
Nice.
Tag team, Peace and Love and Wrestling.
What was his partner's name? I remember. They wore like tie-dye.
I'll admit, I don't remember his name.
It's
He was
all right.
just very oily.
But Mike Orlando's real good.
Yes.
MJF, Flip Gordon.
Yep.
Maybe my second favorite indie wrestler
He's
right now.
great.
And Tessa Blanchard.
Oh.
In a ladder match to become the new XWA Firebrand champion. I'm having to expect that this is like an X Division or even IC like secondary title. Vinny Marseglia won that against all of that steep competition. Keith Lee, Limitless Keith Lee, probably tied for my second favorite indie wrestler. He's a freak of nature, gigantic black dude who can do everything athletic. Beat somebody named Jeff Cobb. JT Dunn, who's been on the indie scene for a million years, beat John Morrison. Jason Blade defeated Kenny Dykstra. I don't know Jason Blade, but
I think it's Dykstra.
is it?
Yeah.
It's a guy from
I don't think you say Dykstra.
Spirit Squad, right?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Anthony Henry is XWA's champion. He successfully defended against Brian Kendrick's former partner, Paul London, and David Starr. Wrecking Ball Legursky, who
yes.
everyone in this car has trained with.
Love Wrecking Ball.
Good guy. Smelly gear, according to Cody Rhodes, but a good guy. Defeated 19 other guys. Competitors. There were women in this match as well. In an over-the-top battle royal. Then Ricochet defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. That must have been absurd.
Oh, my God.
I gotta find that on YouTube. Coming up, NEW Wrestling Under the Stars' first Connecticut show. Under the Stars is where they go to a baseball field and put on a show. July 28th features Rey Mysterio, all over the indies, Jack Swagger, Kevin Nash, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Jerry Lawler. Two of whom have tag teamed with Bull Dread in the past. I'm much more excited for Ron Zombie and Bull Dread, who were left off of the Danbury Future of Flight show. Unbeknownst, it's just very disappointing, but we're going to see him in Bristol. Vinny Marseglia, again, of the Kingdom. Wrecking Ball is going to be there. And then after that, huge wrestling weekend. August 4th is Friday Night Fights with yours truly refereeing, Dicky Moon wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talent. There always is.
Always talented.
Jersey in August. What can you say about that show?
Jersey, come down to 8.
August 5th?
There's a lot of good. Yeah, well, the match I'm looking forward to watching is they got Darius Carter versus Azrael.
Oh, okay.
That should be very
awesome.
hard hitting.
Nice.
Looking forward to that one.
And that's a semifinal in another tournament, right? Or no?
Possibly.
I know Az has been fighting Darius Carter and this other guy like all over.
I just got to Ace, man. I haven't met everybody.
Oh yeah, right. And then August 6th.
Yes.
The 4th is Friday Night Fights. The 5th in Jersey, see the Hippy Dicky Moon. I'm going to go hop in my car.
Yes.
The 6th, Global Force Wrestling on tour in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Oh, that's exciting.
I've heard rumblings. A couple people are insinuating that they might be making an appearance from our local indie scene on that show.
Maybe.
We'll see. I hope they are. I'm going to go anyway. Now, business is about to pick up. We have 6 minutes to talk.
We can get through this.
Oh, yeah. Business is about to pick up is where we discuss the current build in wrestling's most prominent storylines and how we see the angles paying off. This is for all you marks out there. We're going to talk about the W. We're talking about E. Mark. Marks and Rats. The pre-show kickoff. Okay, so the build for SmackDown's pay-per-view Battleground. I mean, last year at Battleground, it was the Shield in a three-way for the world title. It was the last pay-per-view before the brand split. Like, it was a huge deal. This Battleground seems a little less
important.
I
didn't even know it was happening.
Yeah, I mean, you got a pay-per-view every freaking week, dude. It's
hard to keep up.
It's hard to keep up, and Raw has a lot more going on with Strowman. SmackDown is trying to catch up, and I don't blame Jinder for that, but here's what we're working with. The pre-show match, 5 minutes. The pre-show match is Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English. Not a lot to say. Who do you think's got it?
I'm I'm going to give it to a tie.
Yeah, the perfect 10. Hasn't done much. Aiden English has done even less.
Yes, he's doing his crybaby thing right now, right? Is he crying?
Yeah.
I've seen that on YouTube. Okay.
So, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin in what promises to be the curtain jerker. How are they doing this to the King of Strong Style? And what do you think about Corbin?
I don't even know. I don't even really understand this match.
Yeah.
I think they're both on the rise. I think they're supposed to be like getting big wins. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Corbin.
But I guess I'll say Shinsuke. Gotta give it to Shinsuke.
It's true to character for Corbin. He's been talking about indie guys, talking junk about them in both social media and on camera.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I like the idea. Yeah, let's see it. Hippy Dicky Moon against Baron Corbin. You're going to give it to Nakamura?
Yes.
I would tend to agree as well. Fatal 5-Way Women's First Contention. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, Jesus, versus Lana, versus Natalya, versus Tamina Snuka.
Huh.
Big clusterfuck. They've been doing so many giant women's matches that it's like, why don't you give anyone any separation?
This is when you're starting to lose it. You're starting to lose it when they just throw them in multi-man matches, or women matches. Excuse me. Who's their champion? Who's the SmackDown
Right
champion?
now, it's Naomi, who just finished a program with Lana, so
Naomi?
you can't expect it to be Lana.
Nope. We'll give it to, I'm going to throw it to Charlotte. Why not?
Eventually she's gotta.
Yep.
But you've put her in a situation where she can lose the match without looking weak, so I'm going to go with Tamina Snuka because of her recent intrigue with Lana. Maybe Lana helps her win the match.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Tamina.
Okay.
SmackDown Tag Team Championship, American Alpha nowhere to be found. The Usos defend against the New Day. Rap battle was phenomenal.
Great.
So good. What do you say?
Usos.
Usos?
Usos.
Wow. No love for the New Day.
No, I love the New Day. Just, the Usos
Can't see him losing the straps.
Nah, not right now.
Very good. Especially before SummerSlam. If anything, I would say if they were going to do a huge payoff and have the New Day win the straps, it would be at the big event.
Yes.
You have a flag match.
Flag? I didn't even know this was happening.
Between John Cena and Rusev. Both of them haven't been on for a minute.
Okay.
This is like a ring rust match.
If Cena's just coming back for this, he's picking up the W.
Yeah?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Unless it's a program.
Well, does it count as a program just by virtue of the fact that it's John Cena in the ring? I don't know. It's getting a little loud here, and that's fine because we're wrapping up.
We're almost done.
Big match, John. That's who we're giving it to. The United States Championship, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, which is a dream match of mine. These guys, both Ring of Honor standouts, have achieved everything they've achieved. What do you say, Hippy?
Yeah, I'm excited for this match too. This should be great. But I guess I want AJ to hold the strap.
I do too.
I like long reigns.
Yeah, long title reigns are where it's at, I would say. And I guess we got to give this... I'm going to give it to AJ too. I think he's due. I think he's way due. What do we got? A minute and a half left?
We're good. This is good.
Jinder Mahal's going to win.
Oh, good man.
Right?
So it's just a regular
Why would
match?
you give him...
Wait, no, this is not a regular match.
Punjabi prison match.
Punjabi prison.
Yes.
This is exciting. I hope they have better camera angles for this one. I don't like I don't like looking through all that bamboo.
I agree.
You miss critical moments. Jinder should hold on. Just like, again, champion.
Long
retains.
title reigns.
And if you want to solidify him as a legitimate champion, a long title reign.
He absolutely has to win this match to legitimize him winning it in the first place, in my opinion.
How could he lose the Punjabi prison?
That is a great question. Hippy Dicky Moon, you have just under a minute to say anything else you want to say to our listeners.
I just want to say thank you for listening. It's basically all that, man. I love everybody for listening. I love all you guys. Come down to PWA. Come train at PWA. Just train to be a pro wrestler. Watch pro wrestling. Love pro wrestling. That's what I love.
And if you come down to PWA, man, just come once. Just take one bump and see what it's like, man. It will change your perspective on wrestling forever. Hippy, you're my favorite guest ever. Thank you.
Oh, I love you.
That was a good time. Peace.